everybody, guess where I am? I guess you probably know by now because I brought you here quite a few times. We are at the factory in Prague where CG makes all of their games. And it's the first year that CG is running their own production in their own factory because CG actually bought this factory. So that means I have the inside track. I can show you all of the inside processes that go into making games. And we have SETI here being produced and assembled and everything. So I can show you step by step how that looks like. And then eventually it will be sent to retailers and eventually to you. And here's where the lamination of the boards happens. There are 4 punch boards in SETI, and as you need to laminate each side, there is 8 laminations in total needed per game, which is quite a lot.
So having our own factory is actually quite advantageous for us right now, because after tremendous success at Essen with SETI, when I came here just, on Tuesday directly after Essen, I said, okay, now our priority number 1 is to produce as many SETI as possible, at least till the end of the year. So here, people in the factory start calculating how many copies they are able to produce, and we found out that we are able to produce 4,000 SETI per week till the end of the year. It's kind of limited, this throughput is limited by this machine, which is lamination, because SETI requires 8 laminations per copy, which is quite a lot. And to increase the throughput, we would need extra lamination machines, and we are actually working on that. And instead of this machine, which we are not really using that much anymore in this factory, we will have second lamination machine at the beginning of December. So later, from the beginning of next year at latest, we would be able to produce even more SETI per week, if there will be demand, of course.
And when the boards are laminated from both sides and left to dry, they're ready for cutting. And over here, there's some plain cardboard that after this machine becomes a 3D box. Then on this other part, there's the print of the box cover with glue on one side. And it's nicely wrapped around the inside box to create the top lid of SETI.
SETI.
SETI. How much does it weigh?
I feel like an Apple keynote, Every keynote they come and they say, we have the best iPhone ever. The newest one is the best one. So I feel like that when I'm doing games from CG. Every year we make a heavier and heavier game. So this time it's SETI. It's the heaviest game we made, 3.4 or 3.5 kilograms. It's actually our densest game. It's also full of cardboard, there are a lot of cards, and the rewood components are also not, light, so it adds up. Actually, because of that, not just because of that, but we actually made the box thicker, because Otherwise, our usual box wouldn't hold it. And since we acquired the factory, we decided to upgrade our components. So we upgraded the outer box, and it's much thicker, and it was needed for this game especially. It's actually around 50% heavier than Arnak. I'm still baffled how we are able to, produce it. Actually, it's causing troubles for us because then you need to ship this, and we are usually shipping games in a container to US, and we are shipping them floor-loaded. So you have a container, and our people at the warehouse are putting one box at a time, and they fill it completely. But there's not just the volume of the games, you also need to count with the weight. And SETI the container full of SETI would be overweight completely. So we had to find another way. We actually palletize it, which sounds weird because then we are shipping a lot of air. But we hit the weight limit anyway, so this is the first game we are shipping palletized to US. Otherwise, we are shipping floor-loaded containers. But a full container of SETI needs to be palletized.
Then another thing that goes into the box is the re-wood and re-plastic components, which are eco-friendly alternatives to plastic, and they are made in a different factory and sent here. There's 4 different pieces, so the big mix of all the components has to be sorted into 4 different containers, one for each piece. In one bag there's 30 components, and instead of counting them piece by piece, because it's the same component, they use a scale so they know how many to put in each bag based on the weight. For some other bags, because there's a smaller amount of pieces and different components in them, they have to be selected piece by piece. And they do the same process for the 4 different player colors in the game, and all of these, plus the data tokens and the sun component, are placed in one bigger bag. What might surprise you is that the absolutely last component to be printed is the rulebook.
There's this question from people about our rules and why we are actually putting them online so late. And there's this easy answer. We are putting them online once they are ready. And the good thing about having a factory in Europe close by is that we are able to produce those games really on short notice. That means that we can send the data to print very late, just before Essen, which is a blessing and a curse, because we can work on it for as long as possible, which we do. But a curse that people don't see the final rules until very late, and we are sorry about it. That's the way we roll.
And when all of the little separate parts are ready, the assembly dance can begin.